It's your boy, the one with the scar on his face, your boy Scarface. And I want to welcome you guys back always again to a new episode. Like, all your guys' support really means the world to me because every week, new episode, you guys support the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. And also shout out to everyone who continues to buy stuff over at naughtyscience.com. If you're looking to get any type like things to enhance your intimacy life, definitely Naughty Science, whether it's like any sort of toys, some lubricants, some restraints. We got some restraints over there, and trust me, they fire. Like if you actually start using some of this stuff and with your partner, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a great time. So definitely go check it out. Link is in the bio. Shout out to everyone. There is a code in the description, so go check it out to save yourself some money. And again, shout out to everyone. I know shipping usually takes about 2 weeks on that stuff, so we're trying to work on that. We're trying to work on that, okay? But anyways, thank you guys, everybody who has purchased stuff. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate you guys' support. So, all right, let's get into today's podcast episode. I'm feeling great. Got a lot of cool things happening, right? But the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the game. How deep will you go? Okay. Again, there's 3 levels to this. I like this because it makes you think, right? All right, the first level, icebreaker. What is something simple that makes you smile? Something simple that makes me smile. I mean, if we're talking about, I would say probably my nephew. You know what I mean? Like seeing like pictures of them, because sometimes my sister will send me pictures of both my nephews. And it's really cool because, you just see them. It's good and bad because you're like, dang, they look good. And then you're like, fuck, they're getting older. That means I'm getting older. But that definitely, like, and then also, like, sometimes when my sister randomly FaceTimes me, and then Milo's there too, because he's like, she'll FaceTime me, and then he takes the phone and just leaves. And all you see is, like, the top of his head because he doesn't angle it correctly. And he's just going off talking and talking and talking. Some of the stuff, I don't even understand what he's saying, but he's going off. I just agree with him. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And he loves it. So that's always a highlight. Level 2 is confessions. What is something you have been told that you will never forget? If you ain't first, your last. No, that was Talladega Nights. Something that I've been told that I will never forget. Something that I was told that we'll never forget. I mean, there's no specific thing, but the first thing that comes to mind to me is, and I don't know where I heard it. I don't know if it was like through a book, but somebody had told me at one point. And again, people will say it all the time, be like, "Oh, so and so said it." Okay, I get it, but you know when somebody says something and it like really hits you, it was, nobody's gonna come and give you anything, because there's a lot of people who just sit around thinking that, oh, like one of these days I'm gonna make something happen. This is gonna happen. I wish something was gonna happen. Nobody's gonna come and give you a successful career. No one's gonna come give you a successful job, successful business, social media, like everything. You have to give yourself that, and that just means you have to put in that work. So basically what I'm trying to say is, like, nobody's coming to help you. There's people who can assist you on the way wherever you're going, but they cannot do it for you, if that makes sense. Like, nobody's going to come and do it for you and give it to you. Let's be honest. You think Elon Musk is going to come over and be like, here's Tesla? I'm just using that as an example. Somebody's going to be like, I don't want fucking Tesla. It's just an example. That was the first one that came up because I saw a Tesla drive by a little bit ago. That's why. So just like that, work hard, knowing, like, if you want to get successful, and you'll get there, you just got to put in that work. No one is gonna come and help you. You got to make it happen. The last one is that, what is a dream you let go of, but it hurts? A dream that I let go of, but it hurts. No, because we fucking following them all. Like, what the fuck? That one doesn't fit. Because we hustling, we grinding. Because here's the thing why that one doesn't fit is because if I think I want to do something, I do it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So that's why I tell you guys to do things with and live without regret, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be older and be like, fuck, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that. No, me with my dreams, like stuff I wanted to do, like I said, the whole social media stuff, like I want to get that bigger. I want to get the podcast bigger. Maybe one day somebody will stream the questions and stuff like that, meaning like partnering up with like a Netflix and things like that, and actually doing like a live type of session, something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that would be really cool. Describe your worst heartbreak. What did it teach you? I think easy. My first heartbreak, because it teaches you a lot. That's why it's good to date in high school, because you meet somebody and then that's when you go through like that heartbreak. You may not feel it there too, because sometimes when you date in high school, they're really not super serious or anything like that. So yeah, just date. But I remember, after that, like you start feeling these feelings that you've never felt before, like this anger, this like sadness, like a whole bunch of regret, like confused, like all these emotions. After that first breakup, that your first actual real breakup with a real person that you spent some time with, had a lot of feelings for, like it's difficult because you've been together with this person for so long, and it just to finally end. That's why I get it when it's difficult for some people to leave a relationship after being together for so long, but which they shouldn't use time to stay. But it hurts, that first heartbreak, like, and you don't know what to do because there's no real. People will tell you, oh, just do this. Oh, you just do this. But at the time, like you can do what they told you, but it didn't work. You can do this, but it doesn't work. Then you start realizing how you got yourself out of this. You learn a lot of lessons. You felt a lot of feelings probably you haven't felt that deeply before. And like now you know what those feel like. You start learning this stuff. So I would just say my first serious relationship was 7.5 years. And it just didn't work out, And after that breakup, even though you tried to like act like it didn't fucking do anything to you, it fucks you up. You know what I mean? Like at the time I was like, nah, I'm good. Even though it was more of a weight lifted off my shoulder. Yeah, I did have that, but it wasn't like oh, I'm so happy to be here. It still sucked 1,000%. So definitely I would say that. And I'm sure a lot of people can agree. If you guys want to let me know, like what was your major heartbreak, and you probably still think about it. But I want to get into today's episode because guess what? It's summertime. People are going on dates. People are hanging out. They're trying to find their summer fling, their summer love, all that stuff. And I'm here to help you navigate dating in 2025, especially summer 2025, and how it's different than the 90s. And that's what I really wanted to do because a lot of people, I checked the demographic on the podcast, a lot of the people who listen and the TikToks, all that stuff is majority like millennials, right? Because obviously I'm a millennial. People can relate. People relate to other people that in the same, space, same age. So I wanted to do dating in 2025, like the pros. It's almost like pros and cons, like how dating in 2025 is obviously different than the 90s, and some ways to navigate it. Just because these are just things you can do, but dating is tough. People are just playing with people's emotions now. People just want to get a quickie and then dip out. Get some real quick, get out. Give me that cookie, I'm out. Let me talk to you for a little bit, dipped out. It's a lot of that because, obviously social media, it's a little bit harder there's more options. So, which brings it into the first one is everything is online. In the 90s, you met people through friends, work, or like you could go to like different events like the bar scene, maybe house parties and stuff like that. Because during that time, like when I was growing up, especially, I grew up in the 2000s, but it was house parties. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. There was a lot of house parties, dance battles, like in the 90s and stuff, and even the 2000s. Not so much the dance battles, but it was like house parties. That's where you would meet people and stuff like that. But now it's obviously dating apps, social media, and like the way to really to navigate this for both male and female. You definitely have to have like, don't catfish obviously on your profile. Like, keep this in mind. If you put a photo you 45 pounds ago to now, they're gonna feel a type of way. I don't care if it's male or female, they're gonna feel a type of way. Okay. One that shows, I know this is just how people are, but let's just rip the band-aid off, right? A full body photo too. Let's be fully transparent, because if they're not like, if they have issues with your body, let's get that known before we even meet. Because some people are like that. Some people have to they require a certain physical, like their physical body to be a certain way. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they want. That's what they're attracted to, and that's fine. But I would say just have that on there as well. Obviously, a close-up headshot, full body, and be fully transparent on there. Recent photos, don't put one that was like I said, 45 pounds ago, because it's gonna be a problem. And maybe, because I'm just being honest, this is why you guys are here. Some people a little heavy on the filters, okay? Like, and you know who you are. A little heavy on the filters, because some people, they don't look like that in person, okay? You know what I mean? Like, at least I'm a medium. It's like, I'm good, you know? Because it's because it's happened to me. For example, like, I remember at the time I really didn't. You see a photo and you're like, that's what they look like, and then you meet them in person and you're like, what happened? You know, like, a whole lot happened. Just because, let's be honest, like, when you're attracted to somebody, you're attracted to maybe their face, their body, their personality comes last. I don't care what people say. People like, I'm saying attracted to. I didn't say fell in love with. Like, some people do fall in love with somebody's personality, but you had to meet him first, her first. So that's what I'm saying. Like, be 100% honest in there. You know, a light filter is cool. Nothing wrong with that. But some of you guys be running the photos through a lot of stuff and your videos. I'll tell you that right now, fellas. If you guys are listening to this, you might want to FaceTime her beforehand, just so you can get like just because it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't get to that. And you've had heavy filters. Again, light filters, nothing wrong with that. But there was that video that went around where it was an older lady and she was like talking, and it happened to this other lady. Like, she's talking, but when she turns her head and it kind of blocked it, so the filter came off. And then so when she turned her head back, it took a second to click or to add the filter back on. And so you saw where her face looked like, and it was, you know, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was not compared to what the filter was. So that's why I'm saying, like, just be transparent. If you guys just want, if they don't like how they look, you look in on your profile picture, cool. Might as well just filter that person out already. Like, why are you going to meet up with this person? Be like, you know what, let's meet up. Let's see where it goes. And then they ghosted you. I wonder they ghosted. Well, because that was you 50 pounds ago, heavy on the filter. You know what I mean? Like, so just be fully transparent on the dating apps, you know? And then also, like, social media can be used as dating apps, because that's where you meet people too. What do you think these other platforms are? You sign up for it, you make an account, you put pictures, and they get to know you that way. Yeah, everybody there is specifically there for dating. You know, obviously there's married and all sorts of stuff, but there's also people like in regular Instagram, TikTok, you can meet people there. There's nothing wrong with that. So, so that can also be another way to navigate it. And just, there's so much going on now that you know of. Back in the 90s, like, it was maybe the radio was promoting an event, TV was promoting an event, you know, or something like that. It was harder to hear about like local stuff. All these food trucks are going over here. Let's go over there. Like, I mean, people go to those, guys and girls. You know, let's go to that food truck event. Let's go to the farmer's market. There's so many places you can go, but you choose, like, I don't know why people choose like the bar, the club to meet people. Like, why is that? You're let's go out, you know, see what out. That was your first choice. That was your first choice. So definitely there's different ways to navigate. And I think overall, just remember, There's bad people and bad people and good people online and social media. There's You can go to the church and find somebody who's a great person, and you can go to the church and find somebody who's a bad person. So, and that's just anywhere. So it doesn't mean like, oh, the dating apps have nothing but bad people. No, what you hear is all the bad experiences. When somebody says a good experience, it just blows over. You're like, all right, cool. What? Oh, we met on Hinge. Oh, nice. That's cool. What happened? Who did you meet on Hinge? He's married? What? Cheated? Which one are you going to remember? Which one was more entertaining to you? The cheating one. And so that's what I try to tell people. There's good outcomes in a lot of these things. It just, we hear a lot of the bad. Kind of like my page on TikTok and IG. We hear a lot of the bad. There's great stuff. But if I started adding, hey, went on my first date, got a kiss on the cheek, I'm sure some people would be like, that's cool. Can you post the kinky stuff again? Can you post the cheating stuff? You know? So that's what I'm saying. Like, because a while back ago, I did a series similar to that. And I got those comments. They're like, hey, can we do more of the other stuff and other stuff? And that's what I mean. People are here for that entertainment. But don't confuse that there isn't great stuff out there. There's people who are married, happy in marriages, happy in relationships, happy together, meeting somebody like good, genuine people. Like they're out there. You know, there's kind of like some media channels. They just show you the worst because that's what's going to make you click. That's what's going to make you watch. Compared to like, hey, look, this will happen. This is good. So definitely, keep that in mind. The second one, texting is the new love letter. You had to call or write a note. Now it's all DMs, memes, voice notes, reels, and TikToks, Facebook, whatever. And I think the way to kind of navigate this is not to overthink the response time. I fucking hate the response time. Learn to also, I wrote down here, learn to read their tone and energy through messages. Quick replies don't always mean interest. Absolutely. It could be that they're on their phone real quick, replied on their watch. But so before, you remember house lines, you had to call somebody. Hey, what are you doing? What's up? How's it going? So it was more like you guys actually had to make an appointment, be like, hey, is it cool if I call you tomorrow around 7? Yeah, call me around 7. Now it's a quick text. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, rarely phone calls, let's be honest. Or before, also writing letters too. You could write letters. I remember growing up, it wasn't like, it was my mom and her mom, my grandma. I remember them sending written letters before, because it was harder to call to Mexico and way more expensive. So they would just write letters to each other. So that's what I mean. Like that was the forms of communication before. But now, like I said, it's just a simple text through social media, and you have to be okay with that. Like that's just the most convenient way. You can't. I hate it when people are like, oh, like we're in the 2025 looking for the love in the 90s. You're not gonna find it. You're gonna keep getting disappointed. Your expectations are over there, and this is reality. Let's reel it back in. Just know that, you can find somebody who loves you that way from the 90s. But they're not going to be treating you that way. They're not going to be like, can I call you tomorrow? I mean, they'll probably say, hey, like when you get off of work, can I call you stuff or text you? It's probably going to be a text. Or you can just text throughout the day. You don't even have to wait for them to get off. So you have to be okay with that and read and be clear. Like if you're not unsure about something in a text message, because the tone can come off a certain way. There's sometimes you can write a certain sentence, and depending on how you read it, you probably sent it in a nice way, and I read it in a rude way or like in a upset way. So you have to understand like that too. Like, and just the biggest thing is communication. Like if you like, what did you mean? I was like, are you upset about this? And they'll be like, no, I meant like this. I'm like, oh shit, like my bad. I thought you were upset about it. So definitely. And then just avoid. I get that message too all the time. What if he takes forever to... People respond at different rates. There's no right or wrong amount of time. Now, if they're going days without responding, red flag. If they text you in the morning and then like at night, red flag, because not a red flag, but more that they're not interested. Why couldn't they text you throughout the day, right? Uh, because if you like somebody, you want to be in constant communication with them, like talking through them throughout the day, like I do. So just keep that open mind. Like if you think, yeah, eventually it could lead to like phone calls or something like that every now and then, but for the most part, it's going to be text messages. Let's be honest, or like sending each other memes, which is also because I think that's cool when you send each other memes or reels or funny stuff that you saw and you thought it was funny. So guess what? Hey, I want you to see it, you know? And then you get to know like each other's humor. Like, oh, he thinks these are really funny. Oh, he because it's funny. I always tell people I have like the weirdest algorithm timeline. I curated it brick by brick. Okay, and it's not even what people think would be. It's like the funny like type of videos like cop videos, and I'm talking about like people getting pulled over. I don't know why I sit and watch people get pulled over, and then just those interactions, and not like bad ones. They're just like how they talk to each other. What else? Just like funny animal ones. And people are like, "Is that what you're watching?" I'm like, "Yeah, this shit's fun." So don't be afraid to share. That's another way of communication. That's another way of them trying to like, hey, like, because it's hard to have a conversation all day about, and especially, hey, what are you doing now? The same thing I was doing an hour ago. You know what I mean? So, all right. So the next one that I have is options overload, decisions paralysis. And so you have what was it? You had a few people you were interested. Oh, in the 90s, yeah, there was only a handful of people be like, I like this person, or you only had a handful to choose from. And now, depending where you sign up, what city you're in, you got hundreds, thousands to choose from. So now it's harder. So like there was this study done. I can't remember. I wish I could find it. Like, it's funny like when you remember shit, you can't remember like it was. So when you give somebody too many options, they usually choose none. If you give somebody A or B, they usually choose one or the other. You know, and that's something that I did with my business. Is like, for example, like the photos and video stuff that we did. We had a basic package, premium package, only two, and they would choose one or the other. Most of the time, it was a bit more expensive one. You know, when you make it, I mean, I don't want to get into that. When you make it kind of close, they're like, oh, that's only like $300 more. We'll just take the bigger. You know, it's weird. Compared to like silver package, bronze package, there's so many packages on there. It's just overwhelming. They don't choose none. And they have a hard time choosing. You know, of course they want to choose one, but they just don't know which one. This one this, but this one this, but this one this. And it's same with people. When you have too many options, most of the time they won't choose any of them because they're afraid they chose the wrong one. He chose the wrong one. She chose the wrong one. And so that's that's the bad thing. But compared to the 90s, when you only had, maybe you were dating Jessica from that worked over here, and then you knew about this other girl, let's name Julie, Jessica and Julie. And those are the only two. You're like, she's cool, but like I like how she's way more outgoing. Like she likes to do this stuff, but the only downfall is this. You know, like you're gonna choose one or the other, and then you're gonna be like, you know what? I get excited hanging out with Julie. I'm gonna go with Jessica. I'm gonna go with Julie. Like you're gonna choose one or the other. It's when you have too many. Now you have Jessica, Julie, Jamie, Jane. I'm doing all J's. You know, like if you have 10 different girls that you want to choose from, like say you're swiping somewhere and now you have 10 different chats going, you're not going to choose any. Like you're going to have a harder time choosing one. And see, that's like too many is bad, but also like the great thing about social media and all that stuff, the apps, is you're going to meet people you probably would have never met, never ran into. Never. But because of this, you ran into them, you know? Or you didn't even know you were going to like this person because sometimes you go into their profile, you see what the person really interesting compared to just like walking by them. And then you would have been like, oh, whatever, like good looking person, you know, and then that's it. So that's a huge downfall. Like I know. And I learned that with the study, when you give somebody too many options, they usually choose none or have a hard time choosing one, like a very hard time. And when you give them two options, and that's why I always tell people give the ultimatum. Because if you fix it, you don't. I leave or I don't. That's it. They're gonna choose one. They're gonna fix it. Okay, this is what you got to do to fix it. I don't want to do that. I'm out. you know, uh, as simple as that. And same with options. Like if I had 10 different girls here, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, but, 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 I don't know. You know, I don't want to lose. I like her, but I don't want to lose her. You know what I mean? Like you don't choose. But if you're just like, all right, it's Julie and Jessica, you're like, which one you vibe with more? I'm gonna go over here because Jessica broke my heart. No, just joking. If you get the joke, you get the joke. So it's a little bit more difficult. The next one I have is ghosting is still the norm still, or not the norm still. Ghosting is the norm. But it happened before too, because you can just stop calling and make up an excuse, and then that's it. And you didn't know what they were up to because social media didn't exist. And there was a little social media after that, like MySpace days, early Instagram, but there was no stories. Okay. Stories are the ones like, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Right. Like that's where people figure out what they're doing. Because what if you like go somebody and be like, he's out here fucking boating, like something like that. But compared to before, if you just stop making those phone calls to this person, they'll be like, well, what? I don't know what happened. They just gone into the abyss. And now, I think it hurts a little bit more, because if you see they ghosted you and you still see them being active on social media and doing something, and you're just like, what the fuck did I do? Like, what was going on here? Like, what happened? You start talking like, it wasn't me. Did I do this? Did I do that? Like, it's a lot of that. But it's still the same. Ghosting happened before. Ghosting happened in the 90s. Those people looking for the love from they did the same shit. They did the same shit. But it was easier to do it then, because you just stopped talking to them, and then you probably wouldn't see them unless it was like a close friend group. But for the most part, you wouldn't see him anymore. And then that's it. Like, there was no like, oh, I saw his profile. I saw his story. He was out. So that one hasn't gone away, but it's something that does happen now and before. So like basically navigating that is just don't take it personally. Move on. Don't expect any type of closure from this person, because they're going to make some stuff up. Most of the time they'll make some stuff up if you try to get closure, and it's going to be awkward. Like if you go somebody and then you confront them, totally awkward. And also whoever you confronted is going to try to, when you're in an awkward situation, you want to get out of the awkward situation really fast. They're probably going to say something stupid, make things worse, make it worse for you because they said something like weird shit. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? If you get ghosted, the worst thing you could do is go back to that person that ghosted you. That's the problem a lot of people make, is they go right back. Instead of, hey, they ghosted me for a reason. They're probably going to do it again if they did it one time already. So I would have just, all right, I'm out. Now, you had a chance. Blew it, buddy. So that one is definitely from the past. Like in the 90s, it happens now. There's no real way to avoid it, because you can be talking to somebody for like 3-4 months and all of a sudden like they just stop. Because it's so easy to ghost. That's why people do it. People do it because it's so easy to ghost than to, hey, I don't want to, like, I don't want to do this. Like, like just have that normal conversation, which actually isn't very hard. But in most people's head, it's like the most difficult conversation. And I get it. I've been there. Like having those conversations. I gave that story is like when I was talking to this one chick, she gorgeous, but I just did not feel the vibe with her. We had hung out a lot of times and I was just not feeling that vibe. And I was hoping maybe it would have clicked one day, because I was like, she's a good looking girl. I was like, but I don't know why I just don't have that connection with her. And so I wrote up a message for her and told her how I felt about everything. And basically she thanked me for actually telling her, instead of just ghosting. Did I want to send that message? Absolutely the fuck not. I was like, she's gonna get it. She's gonna get so fucking pissed at me. She's gonna call me. She's gonna show up. She's gonna do this. She's gonna do that. And I was like, all right, send. Put the phone down, and just like, and just waited. And then I didn't get anything for a little while. And then all of a sudden I got like, hey, thank you so much for telling me, like completely what I didn't think. I went to worst case scenario. And she was, thank you for telling me, like, I really do appreciate it, instead of just like stopping to talk, like stop talking to me and things like that. So I'm telling you, like, I'm sure she she appreciated it. Of course, it probably sucked because, we had been talking for a while, but it just didn't work out. And then, but she appreciated it that I did that and just didn't cut her off and be like, I can't do this, or just stop messaging, block her, or anything like that. So, there's healthy ways to get around this. The next one that I have: social media can ruin or reveal everything. Then, in the 90s, you barely knew what your date was like, outside of seeing, like, you saw them there and then that was it. And it was your job to get to know them as you went on dates and figured them out and like saw what they like, what they didn't like. Now you can just go through their profile. Oh, they went here, they've done this, and X, Y, and Z, they were with this person, like you start seeing all this stuff, right? Like that's now. But before, it's more of getting to know. And that's where like the courting came from. Now it's so easy. Somebody would just go to their profile and just like scroll and like feel like they know them already. So it's a little bit harder to, that's why to get to know them. If anything, like now what you can do is see their social media and find something that you like or relate. Hey, you went here? Like, that shit is awesome. Like, I've been wanting to go over here, something like that. It can spark up conversations. Okay. So like if you start talking to somebody, that's one way to spark up conversations, instead of trying to like, we're like, oh, I don't know what to talk about all day with it. Go to the social media and be like, oh shit. Cause if you're really trying to get to know them, you'll find stuff and be like, oh shit, like talk about this, talk about that. Oh, and then other things pop up, right? Just constantly get to know the person. So, what was it? One scroll and that their ex. Yeah, see, like about the ex, their job history, and their favorite brunch spot, the food they eaten, the vacations they've taken, the friends that they have at the current moment, the friends they used to have. And like I wrote here is use it as an insight, not ammo. Don't stalk too hard and don't judge too fast. Absolutely, like take everything with a grain of salt. And then get to know them based off of them, how they are now. Because I always say it too, like on the podcast and the TikToks, I was like, that was Edgar before. Edgar now is like completely different. If you're judging me by Edgar before, I was like, you probably have a reason. And I get it. I 100% understand. But right now, Edgar is a little different, So that's why like you can use it as conversation pieces or even things to surprise the person. Like if something's coming up and you'd be like, oh shit, I see that she really likes this. He really likes this. Let me surprise him, right? Because I saw it on this pro. And then you go be like, what the fuck? How'd you know? Be like, So definitely use it to your advantage. Like if you're in the dating phase, and like I said, don't stalk too hard because you don't want to. Some people overdo it. Like, I don't know why, like some people will overdo it to the point where they're just not longer interested, or they find one of their friends or or something like that. And they're like, man, but our friend's harder. So, all right, the next one that I have is dating is more intentional compared to like completely casual now. Like today, now it's more of I'm just kind of bored, like I said, before you had to get to know them. Now it's just like you already kind of know them and you're just there, right? Like in the 90s, most people dated. 90s and 2000s, okay? So just people know. Most people dated with the goal of a relationship. That's why like you barely knew anything about them. Started learning about them. Along learning about them, you start building a connection with them, build a relationship and things like that, right? And then now, half the people want a partner, half the people want to be single, half the, I would just say like, well, not half because you can't. Majority part wants to be single. Majority part just wants a situationship. There's just a bunch of different, only looking for hookups and stuff. Now, because again, when you get all these options, it's harder to choose one. Like, what? I got this girl here, and like I like hooking up with. Like it's so hard when you have so many options. That's why it's good and bad. I mean, clearly, like everything has its good things and its bad things, and you have to accept both of them. That's just how it is. And there's no like, oh, I don't want none of the bad. You're gonna have to take it. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. So, uh, let's see. And then like I said, most people dated with the goal of a relationship, and then now is the whole situationship and stuff like that. And navigating this is going to be clear with your intentions early. It'll save you weeks or months of confusion. And that's why people are like, how long should I wait to be official? Have that conversation with that person. Like, what are they looking for? What are their intentions for you? And then you can start figuring out like timelines and like gauging that. Um, if you're dating somebody over a year and you guys are not boyfriend and girlfriend, definitely a situationship placeholder. And just tell them what you want too. Be like, hey, like this is what I need. This is what I like. If we're gonna continue doing this is what I need. Uh, because if they really into you, they'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever like to make this work, chase you, court you. Compared to like it's just like whatever, right? And if you just let them do whatever, they're gonna be like, well, she's just here. Like I don't have to ask her. So definitely let your intentions be known and let that tell you what their intentions are. Bring it up. Be like, hey, like we've been dating for 8 months. I like you. I'm hoping that you feel the same way towards me. But what are we doing here? Like, what are our intentions? Like, are you looking to be in a serious relationship? Because, to be honest, I am. And if that's not something that you want to do, then we could just cut our losses and go our own separate ways now because I am looking for somebody. I'm not looking to be wasting my time with anybody. And then they could be like, just have that conversation. Don't let them just, because there's so many people that have sent in messages that been in like situationships placeholders for like 10 years, 15 years. And I get it. And when you're there, they feed you this, you get comfortable, and you're waiting. They're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it never comes. And then finally they leave and they're like, I should have left a long time ago. I could have found the person that was for me, would have loved me the way I wanted, would have treated, like did all this stuff for me. But instead I spent all this time as a placeholder, as a situationship. Come on now. Come on now. All right. So the next one that I have is vulnerability is more respected, even in men. Tough it out was the motto, especially for guys, And then now is emotional intelligence is attractive. Yeah, because most women, there's a difference between women and a girl and a woman. I'll tell you that. Like for me, there's a huge difference between a girl and a woman. And people are like, what is that? You'll know a girl and you'll know a woman. Like a girl is like obviously probably younger. Still, I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but they're just in a different time. Still out hanging out, partying, like doing all this crazy stuff, like doing all that stuff. And I get it, 1000%. Go do it. Go do it. And then their how they communicate is you can tell it's like when I say immature, I'm not saying it is a bad thing because there's like immature conversation, mature conversation, meaning like it's more of like, hey, did you see that? Like talking about pop culture or not, because that can be emotionally like, mature conversations, but it's just having like, hey, like what are we like? What's the move this weekend? Like let's do this, like let's do that. Let's throw an all-nighter, bro. I blacked out, right? And stuff like that. Like I get it, do that. Have fun. There's nothing wrong with that. In your 20s, you should do a lot of it. Have fun. Go crazy. You know? But to me, like a woman is like somebody who has something going for herself, meaning like maybe some sort of career, some sort of job, their head on, going. Because yeah, it's cool to go out and hang out with your woman. Like I'm using myself as an example. But I wouldn't want like, bust the all-nighter, like they're constantly drinking and like doing all that stuff. No, like every now and then having a good time, nothing wrong with that. People need to let loose. But if it's like a constant weekend thing, you know, not for me. Or if you choose like destructive behavior other than like constructive behavior, uh, that's like immature, mature. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between a girl and a woman, and you can feel it. Like I know when I'm talking to a woman, and I know when I'm talking to a girl because I just that aura around them, I can tell, I can feel it. So, and that's why I always say like I prefer to be with a woman. Uh, that I that's what I like. So, but same with the guys. Girls want somebody who's emotionally like mature, intelligent, no shit, common fucking sense and a lot of things. Hey, you don't want it done to you, don't do it to me. Other than that, it's cheating. Instead of being like, well, I only kissed her and she only gave me a hand, that was it. Like no. Uh, caring about it just the everything emotional. Like you're there, like grown up vibes, like, oh, you prefer to do this, grow as a person, you're hustling, you're grinding. That's like your focus. Yes, it's cool to go and have fun and fuck around too. Nothing wrong with that, right? But that's not what you mainly do. What you mainly do is hustle, grind. Like I'm always grinding, hustling. Sunday, record Father's Day, recording a podcast. I got some other videos I got to record too, you know, and not just because it's Father's Day, and I'm in Arizona and my dad is in Idaho. It's not because of that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep myself busy. No, I'm working almost every day. I'm always doing something every day. Every now and then, yeah, I'll go and like have some fun, get a few drinks. Nothing wrong with that, you know. But clearly, the emotional talent, like maturity, we'll call it maturity, because I don't want to feel like I'm smarter than you. Absolutely. I'm just two different places in our head. So just more like the emotional maturity. I think that you could start seeing the difference. I remember I had a conversation with this. It wasn't even like a hitting on or anything like that. It was just like a conversation with a younger lady, a girl, in my how I felt towards it. And I could just feel with the conversation, like I was talking to, like not even my sister. Like we have mature conversations. Like we can talk about things. And yeah, we joke around too. We fuck around too. But just the stuff that she was saying and how she was saying it, and you're like, I feel like I'm talking to like my little nephew, because my nephew, he's like what, 13. I felt like I was like talking to, I was like, oh yeah, like, oh, are you good? Like, is your mom here? And I think she was like probably like 22, 20, something like that. And again, it wasn't like that. It was not like people were like, you were talking to, no, it just like with what I do, people ask me questions for certain things. And then I just talk to anybody. Like if you come up to me like, hey, like, what do you think about this on social media? I don't care if you're, freaking 18 or you're fucking 55, I'm gonna have the same conversation with you. Like if you ask me a question about something, I'm not gonna be like, fuck off. I'm gonna be like, oh well shit, like you can do this and you can do this, and like and talk stuff like that. I'm always having conversations like that with people. And that's what that conversation was. She was asking me questions about social media. But then like I would ask her other things and I was like, damn, I was like, it feels like I'm talking to my nephew here. So that's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. Not all younger people feel like that, but I'm just saying like most do. Okay, let's be honest. Um, so definitely that. And let's see. So how to navigate this in the 2025 summer. Therapy is sexy. Yes, it is, fellas. Okay, ladies. Be open about your journey, growth, and feelings. It builds a deeper connection. And not only does it build it, because if you talk about something, not necessarily this is my demons, this is what was messing me up. If you talk about certain things that were bugging you, be like, oh, like this was an issue for me. And then maybe she's gonna be like, oh, it's been an issue for me too. Or I know so and so. Then you guys can build that like deeper connection because you guys are talking about really vulnerable stuff. Does that make sense? So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with talking to somebody who's like going to therapy, because now the person that you're talking to will be like, oh, well, he's getting therapy. She's getting therapy. Like she's actually trying to work on herself. Because there's some people out here that need fucking therapy and they don't want to go. So therapy is huge. And girls find it sexy. Guys find it sexy. I'm not gonna find you crazy. If you told me you're taking therapy or you're in therapy, I'd be like, oh shit, like, I've been there. Like We all need it. We all need that one person. That's why a lot of people come to the TikToks and IG. I'm not saying I'm a therapist. I'm saying that people like to, like, when somebody can relate to their problem. Because if you go through some of the comments on the really, you'll see people relating to it, talk, oh, this is how I got through it. This is what I did. This is what I did. And people like to see that, like, how they navigated certain things, how they did this, how they did that. It's like and that's what a therapist does. This is more of a, like, I'm not ready to go to a therapist, but let me go figure out these problems, see what's going on over here. And then maybe, and I always push it on people. I'm like, there's nothing wrong. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you know you have some issues, some traumas, some, like, things, grudges and stuff like that. Ooh, go to therapy, buddy. Trust, like, you think, and they're there to help. That's how they make a living. So they're not there to obviously ruin their career by, like, leaking your information or, like, making fun of you. Like, oh, you can't, would you believe? No, they're trying to stay in business, and this is what they do for a living. So clearly you have to pay them. Whatever you do for work, they're paying you for it because you got to make a living, right? You don't show up and just do it for free, because some people are like, I don't want to pay somebody to talk about my problems. They're there to help you fix these problems. And if they're going to be there and available for everybody, for them to come and talk to them, where they've taken the time to learn, be experts in their field, you think they don't deserve money for that? To make a living off of that? To feed their family? To feed themselves? To roof over? You don't think? Come on now. That's why when people are like, I'm not going to pay money to... Okay, like, why not? You need it. So you'd rather go to a friend who's going to be like, oh, yeah, like, that's stupid. Yo, just get over her. Oh, get over it. Let's go to the gym, bro. The gym does great, but those traumas are still going to be there because you never hashed them out. The gym is just like a Band-Aid. Trust me, was there too. I thought it was going to fix the problem. That's why, like, I have my own feelings of certain things when people are like, oh, just go to the gym. Yes, it works. It helps with stress relief. It helps with, like, a lot of things, but it's not going to clear your traumas. It's not going to clear those like, that's deep down. You just suppress it. You're just like, hey, like, not right now. Not right now. It's going to come out later. I'll tell you that right now. So you can just keep suppressing it, but eventually it's going to be like, you know what? All right. So the next one that I have is, long distance is normal. Then if someone lived 30 minutes away, it was too far. Now, FaceTime, flights, digital love make coast to coast relationships work. And it's true. Guilty as charged. I hated, it got to the point where I hated dating people where I lived at, just because everybody dated everybody. Like, you're like, oh, guess what? So-and-so is with so-and-so now. And it's just like a constant circle of, like, the same DNA going through everybody, right? So so I prefer to date girls that weren't from my town, because, one, people aren't going to have, why are you talking to Edgar? Like, why out of everybody? Why? Like, yeah, shit like that happened. But when you date somebody who's not from there, then guess what? Nobody knows you. Nobody's going to be like, who's this dude? Like, let me try to ruin the relationship. Let me do this. Like, they don't know anything about you, and you don't know anything about them. Like, if they have, like, whatever going on, and a bunch of rumors or whatever, you got to meet somebody different. And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why it's good with social media, because you start meeting people who live far away, or people you would have never met in your life. So, and then catch flights. You go fly to them, they come to you. You drive to them, they drive to you. You drive halfway, and just things like that. And to keep in contact, FaceTime, sending pictures, Snapchat, like, and it's so easy to communicate with your person. So, like, people don't know what to do. I don't want to do long distance because they like having the person close, and I get it. But it's just options. If you're tired of dating the same people in your area, just consider it. But it's not for everybody. I'll tell you that right now. It's not for everybody. So, and how to navigate if you do get in a long distance relationship is communicate often. Set plans to meet in real life and know your boundaries. That And what I mean is not for everybody, because if you're a person who's insecure and pretty jealous, it's going to be difficult because you're going to be thinking, is this person out doing shady stuff? Are they cheating? Why didn't they message me? Are they still interested? Are they upset I haven't seen them? Are they getting less feelings for me because I'm far away? You start going through all these things, you know? So you have to have clear communication. And another cool thing about long distance relationship, it kind of goes back to you actually had to get to know someone, because when you live far away, guess what? Now you have to get to know this person, or your conversations are going to be dull and you're not going to really be feeling this person anymore. But if you actually can, and you can see if this person is even interested in you, if you guys can constantly have good conversations, you know, and continue to talk to each other without seeing each other, trust me, you're going to learn this person a little bit deeper level, you know, because I've been there. I told you, I've been there, you know. So that's why it has its pros and cons. You know, the cons, obviously, you're far away, so you don't get to see this person all the time. You don't get to do those little cool things like, hey, they're doing this weekend, let's go. You know, it's a little bit harder, you know, especially if they live far away. So uh, it would just be, but if you are in one there or considering it, again, if you're jealous or insecure, might not want to choose that. And you also have to make sure they're not jealous and insecure. Constant communication, you know, make sure you guys are talking to each other, and then, you know your boundaries. And again, if you're doing long distance relationship, make sure you guys are planning to meet each other, like, and constantly plan to meet each other, and make sure it's soon. Don't be going no like 5 6 months. Uh, it should be in like a month, maybe two, because you're just like, all right, let me get how much are this, how much is this. I'm gonna go here. Let me get to know you for a little bit, and then we'll start doing stuff. And I'm gonna spend all this money to come and see you, you know, and things like that. In the meantime, you can get to know this person. So definitely consider that if you're having issues dating where you're at. But again, I said again, not for everybody. All right. So the next one that I have is labels take longer or don't happen at all. Uh, Before, will you be my girlfriend or boyfriend? You know, it came by like a few months down. Just because you've gotten to know this person, you've planned dates. Every time it's getting to know them, maybe you're feeling them more if you constantly keep planning dates. Because, yeah, maybe at night you call each other, hey, like, what are you doing? Talk for a good 30, 40 minutes, and then be like, all right, I got to do this. And then you hang up and then go about your day. And then you wouldn't talk to them again until the next day, something like that, right? Uh, Now it's just so easy to keep people in situationships. People will talk, the audacity on some of these people over a year. If you're over a year, you better have a fucking great excuse why you guys are still a situationship, or, you know, something like that. And don't let yourself go that long, because it's just gonna get comfortable. They'll be like, we've been together for so long, like, you want me to ask you? But to them, they're just, let's keep it here, because if I cheat, we're not together. If I leave, we weren't together. You know, if anything, like, I do something, we weren't together. Um, no, you need those titles, especially if that's something you want. Make sure you get that title from that person. Clear intentions, right? Because right now it's so popular ghosting. It's so easy to ghost. Talk to somebody for 6 months, ghost. Talk to somebody 3 months, ghost. Talk to somebody for 2 months, hook up, ghost. Talk to somebody for a couple of weeks, hook up, ghost. And uh, compared to like before you start dating, so now you're invested. So that's why, like, I get it. The whole, I wish I was in the 90s, but you're not gonna get it. I'll tell you that right now. So like I said, people talk and will ghost you, no titles, or they'll just keep going, keep on this coast on no titles. So I would say the only way to navigate this, you know, in 2025 is be clear on what you want. What are their intentions? Don't assume. I fucking hate. Be like, well, I just assumed we were together. They might tell you that too. Oh, I just assumed we were together. No, you didn't fucking ask me. So you got to make it clear on what you want. Like, hey, boom, boom. Especially in the beginning. In the beginning, it's funny because I remember in the beginning of like some relationships too, is that you want this person to like you, so you start doing things so they be like, no, I got to do this. they're willing to be more spicier if you need them to be more spicier, and so on and so forth. But it has to happen in the beginning when you're training them in the beginning. Uh, so definitely have clear intentions on what you want, and avoid that because it happens way too much. That people, oh, we're just in a situation. Well, have you talked to him? Well, he just, I don't know what he wants. Well, ask him. If he doesn't want to, if he tells you we're just going with the flow, we'll see what happens. Not really, like, let's just be friends for right now. No, they're not interested. Somebody who's interested in is either one going to ask you already, or two is going to be, oh shit, like yeah, like definitely for some reason this is why I've waited for so long. So something like that. All right. And the last one that I have here is healing and boundaries are a priority. Before, in the 90s, 2000s, you jumped into the next relationship without dealing with the last. And then now people are focused on healing and settling boundaries and not tolerating red flags. Well, that's how it should be. I think I wrote it backwards. Because before it was like you were able to, yeah, I did get those confused. So it's before it was, people are focused on healing, setting boundaries, and not tolerating red flags. And then because you had the time after you broke up with somebody, now it's like you have to figure yourself out. There aren't people messaging you on social media like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, mommy, pretty mommy, I got you. Like, hey, what up, daddy? Hey, let's go out and have fun because the breakup, whatever. Like, or some people are just see another person, you break up and be like, ah, shit, fuck, this sucks. Message this person, boom. I've been there. I've been there. Trust me, I'm guilty as charged. But it doesn't work. It doesn't help. It doesn't do anything for you. You got to take some time and heal. Heal, baby. Heal. uh, so they jump back and forth right now. That's the problem. Is like one relationship to another and to another compared to how it was before, where it was just like, now I have some time, take a few months, be single, don't date for a little while, or depending on how long you want to take. So huge difference now. That's why it's difficult. And when you're on if you try, the reason it's hard to heal when you're trying to heal now is like, especially if you still follow them, you're going to see what they're doing. Oh, or they might reach back out, or they purposely like try, you're constantly seeing them, whether it's on social media, them sending you text messages, boom, boom, boom. In sales, they're like, how many times have you touched somebody? Like just a touch here, not in a bad way. Like people know, like how many times you've gotten contact with them, and because it keeps them interested, keeps them, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm here. And same with the like exes. Hey, I'm here. Hey, oh, hey, let's hook up. Let's meet up. Oh, let's make it work. Doesn't work. Separate. And then you see them out partying, her partying, and then that starts an argument. So it's harder to heal. But before it would just maybe hearsay, and be like, oh, I saw so-and-so. Oh, like, that sucks, whatever. But seeing it is different. That's what I keep telling people. That's why I block people like after I'm out of a relationship, is because I don't want to see it. If you wanted to go and do a bunch of shit like after we break up, go for it. Because seeing it sucks. 1000% sucks. Because you're just like, feels a type of way. So what do? I just block them. And if someone's like, oh, did you see it? I don't fucking care. I didn't see it. Cool. Good for them. So I'm telling you, practice the blocking. But how to navigate it in 2025 is work on yourself, recognize your patterns, and don't rush just to fill a void. A lot of people, I tell them to learn to be single. You have to learn to be single because you're jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you're not letting yourself heal. And this person suffers, this person, just because you didn't take the time to heal. And it helps, trust me. I'm telling you right now, it goes a long way. Now you're back and you're like willing to give 100% of yourself to somebody and hoping they're going to give you 100% back. But anyways, I want to thank you guys. This one actually went for a while. Damn, talking a lot today. I want to thank you guys again for always tuning into the podcast. Every week you guys are here. I absolutely love it. You guys are amazing. I really do enjoy this stuff, having these conversations, people I get to meet. If you're in Phoenix, July 12th, Salt at Westgate, I'm going to be there, birthday party. It's going to be a great time. So again, if you're in the area, July 12th, Salt, the one in Westgate, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, definitely swinging by. Everybody's invited. I want everybody to be there. Okay. I am not sending any personal invites out. So if someone's like, you didn't invite, did you see the fucking post that I made on Instagram? Yeah. Okay. You were invited. I'm not that dude. Hey, you want to come? Hey, you want to come? Hey, you want to? No. Put it. Whoever wants to come, fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy. And shout out to everyone who buys stuff over at naughtyscience.com. I really do appreciate it. Again, there's a discount code just for the podcast listeners that's not anywhere else. It's in the description. Go check it out. Get yourself some stuff. I've been testing some of this stuff. Fucking amazing. I'll tell you that. If you haven't, and I post a lot of the stuff over on the subscription tab on my IG, Scar Talks. Link is also in the description. Unfiltered, raw. And I'm having some like really cool things coming. And as soon as those interviews happen that I'm going to put on the subscribe page, right now is $1. It's $1. You can't even get coffee for $1 now. A coffee is more expensive than my subscription. And the stuff that I'm bringing to you is priceless. You can't put a price on it. But it's going to go up just because if I am going to invest a bunch of time into doing this type of content, like the no filter, stuff that you guys want and like, it has to have some sort of like, it's got to pay for itself, if that makes sense. Because of how my time is very spread out. And like, if I'm going to take time from this over here to put it over here, it has to make sense why I'm going to move my time over here. Does that make sense? But definitely subscribe. I got a lot of cool things coming. I'm super excited. This year has been great so far, and it's only going to continue to go up. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys on the next one.